Congratulations to Dane Cook for no longer being the worst Dane in existence. Actually, now that I even said that, I'm still confused as to why Dane Cook was so hated. If it's because he was unfunny or anything, I that's not enough to hate somebody the way they hated Dane Cook. But anyway, congratulations to him. The Dane we're about to talk about is infinitely worse than Dane Cook. So where do we even begin with this bus fire? I mean, we can start with the guy who's at the center of this. Dane AF. Oh, boy, I felt the cringe in my soul when I saw that. I mean, it could stand for actual fandom, right? Not as fuck, you know? Like all the kids say these days. How do you do, fellow kids? Ugh. He covers what he calls anti-fandom content, which he covers the Fandom Menace, EFAB, Rippaverse, that kind of shit. He, talks about them, calls them out in their bullshit and criticizes them. That's fine. That's fine, right? Everybody deserves criticism. Nothing wrong with criticism in this country, at least not yet. So, sure, why not? Go for it, right? My only issue in that regard is that he tends to complain about people doing that to him sometimes. Because he will watch people's videos, criticize them, make memes on them, shit like that. And there'll be times where he complains about people watching his videos, making videos on him, and complaining about people making memes about him. I'm sorry, why is that a bad now when it happens to you? Why is that? You treat that like a bad thing when it's the thing you do. It's kind of what you're known for at this point. He does have a slight the baby bro vibe to him sometimes. It kind of reminds me of that Captain Marvel meme, which I hope that's not an actual line of dialogue in the movie. I'm not even sure. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. But I saw that meme. I'm like, that's not in the movie, is it? I hope not. But still, it has that same kind of vibe to me. But it's just whatever. Not the worst crime. Not his worst crime, right? Unless you're Eric July, of course, in which case I will never debate you, because I don't debate known liars, according to him. But I'll make content on you nonstop. I'll consistently make content about you. Because even I'll have you on for a quiz. That's cool. Right? I'll have you on for a little quiz. Because even though my avatar is slightly inspired by Captain America, apparently I'm the fucking Riddler. Well, there's that, I guess. And with regards to Eric July, there was some controversy between him and Eric. I will say, for starters, the whole chunky monkey thing. That was a bit blown out of proportion. I genuinely don't think Dane meant that in a racial context, like, at all. I don't think that was ever the case. That was never something he was intending to do, to say something. Maybe it might have been a poor choice of words, sure, but no, that's not what he was going for. Now his boy Charles, on the other hand, that's a whole other can of fucking worms right there. That right there, we need to talk about.
It's like that Tupac song, bro. You made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, you know?
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
For real.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, look at how look at the work he does for the Blaze. Yeah, totally. For real.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
That's okay, but you made it in a sleazy way, you know?
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
For real.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, look at how look at the work he does for the Blaze. Yeah, totally.
I don't give a shit. You call me what you want.
You know what? I would be curious, actually.
Though your ears and eyes don't deceive you, you heard exactly what the pecker word just said. Call the black man Uncle Tom, but I don't care what the green screen artifacting dude below him says. He's either Hispanic, and his word is pretty moot on this point, because he's not. It's not a term that affects him in any way, or he is black and he should know better. Because I mean, if we can give Chris Rock shit for allowing Louis C.K. and I believe Ricky Gervais, I'm pretty sure it was just Louis C.K. though. We gave Chris Rock shit for allowing Louis C.K. to say the N-word without any pushback. So I don't see why this guy should be any different. Eduardo, I think his name is, should be any different on that regard. But did Charles here, our boy Charles, did he apologize for even using such a derogatory term against a black man? No, he didn't. He actually did. He actually made it much worse.
For the record, I called Eric July and Uncle Tom only after he went off talking about a close friend's children. I do not regret my reaction. When you work for the Blaze and argue against your community's best interests, that is rather Uncle Tom-ish.
By the way, I ran out of male AI voices because I was using the other male AI voices for other stuff, and I had to use a lady voice for Charles. So use the one that sounds sort of like a Karen. I guess that's the one Charles deserves. The only thing worse than Charles' response to that is Dane's advice to Charles.
Unless someone who you know shares your values and is legit anti-racist says something, it's not worth worrying over. Any randos coming at you probably don't actually care about racism. It's a cynical game to them. Take it from me. I just went through this LOL.
That is some terrible advice to give to somebody, because whether or not people who share his values and are legit anti-racist say something to him or not, he shouldn't have just said it to begin with. Never. That should never have came out of his mouth. I don't care what people who he agrees with says. And I'm assuming that you, Dane, share his values and are legit anti-racist, as you say. So why do you seem largely okay with this? That's very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. It's interesting. And you seem pretty okay with him saying that about a black person. That's cool. The problem with Dane is, and I've seen this behavior before from someone that I'll talk about in a second, is that he does not like taking an L to people he doesn't like. He'll take an L to probably people he does know or like, or just anyone he's neutral on. But somebody he doesn't like has a problem with something he says, and he might be wrong about something. The man will just dig in his fucking heels, and he'll defend it, die on that hill, and defend it no matter what. It doesn't, like this shit here, where it's like, you know your guy is wrong, but you're not gonna say it, and you're not gonna try to go. Assuming he did already, I don't know, but this response gives me that impression that he just will never admit the man was wrong about what he said, regardless of whether or not it was right or wrong. He's not gonna admit it because, hey, randos, quote unquote randos on the internet said you're wrong, so fuck him. Dane's behavior kind of reminds me of B-level Star Wars a little bit in the Council of Exile, if you remember them. I know those are names you haven't heard for a long time, but it reminds me of those people, that group. They, much like Dane, covered the Fandom Menace and stuff like that. Mainly the Fandom Menace, because the Rippaverse wasn't really a thing at that point. And they were doing it pretty normally, I guess, until they went off the fucking rails, and the whole crew just fell apart. It all started with the Marvel Star Wars 108 thing. So apparently there was this comic book coming out called Star Wars 108 from Marvel Comics. B-Level brought it up in a video about Geeks and Gamers, which Jeremy and it was World Class Bullshit, because Jeff Hicks was the one that said something in the video that triggered B-Level. So the Geeks and Gamers and World Class Bullshitters covered it on a stream. B-Level was talking about the comic book, but Jeff Hicks was making fun of the video, saying, listen, this can't be real, right? This video's got to be a joke, right? And for some reason, B-Level assumed or took it as they thought the comic book was fake, which is odd, because it's like, why would they think the comic book is fake? They're clearly referring to your video, but B-Level and his crew just dug in their heels. They, again, died on that hill. Like, no, he was definitely talking about the comic book. There's no fucking way he was talking about my video. He was talking about the comic book. And again, didn't want to take an L to people. He didn't like the people telling him he was wrong. He didn't like, so he didn't want to take that L. He said, nope, this is what it was, no matter what. Another thing these people did, and I remember this person specifically, named General CJG. He was another person who was part of the Council of Exile. There was this YouTuber named Matt Wilkins who the Council of Exile crew wanted him to talk to B-Level Star Wars. Matt Wilkins didn't want to be bothered, so General CJG decided, okay, I'm going to send a comment saying to my followers and all the followers of the council, this mass dislike Matt Wilkins' video. By the way, I covered this already. He said that shit, and I'm just like, wait, you're sending someone to mass dislike someone's video, not because they said something horrible, not because they did something horrible, but because he won't talk, but do it until he talks to B-level Star Wars. What the fuck? They admitted they were wrong about that, but it's like, I'm just like, why would you even think though? Why was that your first choice? Why was that even why was that a choice, period? Fuck a first, second, third. Why was that ever an option? Like, what? Fast forward to the future, and now, you know, that group is dissolved since. Apparently, the last I heard was that B-level tried to get this girl, Julie, aka Supreme Comic Girl, for this Irish chick, to dox Dark Sinovia, who was a prominent member of the Council in Exile. And me personally, I don't think it would have took much convincing on Julie's end to get her to do that, considering Julie's the same person who would literally use, just straight up, no fucking joke, use her sick aunt as a weapon against someone she doesn't like. I think it was against that Star Wars girl. She literally said, she straight up said that she sent her that Anna sent her a message about, you know, you're gonna get what you deserve. You get what you deserve or some shit. And that sounds bad. Except the message she showed that she claimed Anna sent was from like months before that any of that happened, and was referring to a lawsuit. So I think a person that fucking shady, I don't think it would take much convincing to get her to do some stupid shit, do some dumb shit like that. And I don't like Dark Sinovia, but why the fuck would you want to dox him to begin with is beyond me. That's fucking stupid. Don't do that. But anyway, I predicted for all along that group would fall apart because of the constant bullshit with them. And I was right. I didn't want to be right, but guess what? When someone does enough stupid, it's gonna happen eventually, right? Which now brings us to okay. Which brings us to this situation. I got all my AI voices ready. I got all the screenshots ready. I will jump in every so often to talk about some of this shit. Oh, enjoy.
There are minors who watch Friday Night Tights and all the channels represented here. They know that. They laugh as McGinnis pulls out a, maybe fake, penis. Groomers.
Gary's channel might get taken down because of this. If it does, I'll be mixed about it. On the one hand, yay, he's gone. On the other, he has a family. I don't know what the situation is like, but if Gary's the breadwinner, his kids might starve, and that sucks.
Are you dense? Fuck him. He already went to prison for drugs, then gets out and chooses being a fascist for clicks. If he loses his channel, which he won't because of course not, oh fucking well, his family will figure it out.
Okay, so far we got a whole controversy about Gavin McGinnis pulling out his schmeat on a live stream that Gary was running. And yes, that should be reprimanded for that. I mean, legitimately, the fact that people have been banned or demonetized for far fucking less is like insane to me. But, you know, and the fact that you have Gavin McGinnis on at all is fucking weird. But all right, so far that's the case. And of course, Dane couldn't help but be a complete douche about that. Are you dense, bro? It's like he was just making a statement. It's not that fucking serious. Jesus Christ, you suck. So from then on, there's this big disagreement. Jeb was one of the people disagreeing. Him, SK, Dane, they all had a back and forth about the whole deal. And this is... But by the way, it's going to be kind of hard to piece this together because for some reason, when someone blocks a person on Twitter, you being a bystander in the whole thing, you can't see the quote tweeted thing the person like quote tweeted. So for example, like, you know, Fandom, the actual Fandom actual, whatever the fuck his name is, Dane blocked Jeb. So now whatever Jeb quote tweeted with him, no one can see that anymore. I don't know why that's a thing. That's kind of bizarre, but it is what it is, right? But that's what happened. So it's gonna be hard to piece together some of this, but I will do my best to kind of get this timeline down.
AF doesn't state Gary still stands by his substance abuse. He brought up his jail time release to highlight how he had another chance to be a decent human being, but decided to use his opportunity to continue acting shitty. AF knows substance abuse isn't a practice he continues.
Didn't say he did say Gary does.
You seem to have comprehension problems, dude.
I'm sure. Anyway, how did that deleted tweet do? You know, the one where you made up my arguments or those EFAP claims? Sure went well.
You're a dishonest person with malice and a bitter worldview. I hope you grow someday.
So the douchery is building. Now, again, due to the fact that Dane blocked Jeb, I can't see what Jeb quote tweeted here, but I'm going to assume he did ask Jeb to come on the stream. Not as debate me bro-ish as he normally is about debates and stuff like that, but he did ask. He made the offer. And here's what happened after that.
Sorry, but I would rather focus on my blind mother who has been having panic attacks due to said blindness today. We can arrange a date.
And you're doing this with me on Twitter? Defending hateful YouTubers with semantic games? Instead of tending your mother? You're disgusting, dude. And you question my character?
Well, I'm questioning your character now, you fucking cunt. Wow. Why would you even bring that up? He just said he said he was willing to arrange a date. So why are you... Why? What the fuck?
I was going to comment on this myself, but SK has laid it all out very well. Just a few things to add. This came after I defended AF for the chunky monkey stuff, and defended him against accusations of being bad faith, which is ironic. AF is a liar and a hypocrite. Bang out of order. Have a word with yourself. You want to rag on the guy for defending Nerdrotic? Fine, I'm right there with you. But using that to imply a dereliction of care for his sick mother? That's despicable.
See, Jolly, that's simply not what my views are. My principles are not about personal grievances, but harm caused. The chunky monkey thing which you defended, if someone came to me and said it hurt them, I'd apologize.
Jolly might be able to call.
Afraid not. My own mother is being prepped for surgery as we speak, so I'm in the hospital.
But context matters, so if it's Eric July saying it, I simply don't care.
If you don't care if certain people get hurt purely because you don't like them, then that's where our morals diverge. I don't enjoy or am uncaring of hurt to anyone, even when said hurt is the result of justified action.
Cool, good for you. Remind me when I asked to be your friend again?
Incidentally, I suppose my tweeting during her surgery prep would also make me a despicable person, given your message to Jeb.
Cool, good for you. Remind me when I asked to be your friend again?
Remind me when I asked to be yours? Neither. Without wishing to get involved further in the Jeb-Dane discussion, I would suggest you owe him an apology for that comment, Dane.
I agree.
Yeah, that's okay. He was being a disingenuous cunt and pretending to be concerned about addiction issues, which I am an actual advocate for recovery. So, oh well. I gave him the exact same level of good faith he'd given me. Take every word as its worst possible reading, make claims against character.
Because two wrongs make a right?
Lol, no, of course not. I'm not trying to be right for him.
Still, sensitive subject, low blow.
Still, don't care.
And he was willing to have a discussion prior.
No, he wasn't. Not with me.
He said he wanted to schedule a date, if I recall.
You want to talk sensitive subjects and low blows? My mother died from an overdose when I was 15. I found her body. I had a brief bout with addiction, and have since taught classes on it and advocate in my personal life. So, you maybe want to apply that same level of empathy toward me when that dude started this off by mischaracterizing me as saying Gary is inherently bad for his drugs past? If not, we don't have the same values or level of moral consistency, and I simply do not care for your opinion of my handling of it.
Yeah, both of these are wrong.
So why would I want to wait till this dude's able to have a direct convo, when he refused to even acknowledge when I pointed out his error in the first place?
Dane, I'm sorry you lost your mother to addiction. I'm sorry she got caught up in that in the first place. I'm sorry you got caught up in that cycle. I am glad you got out of that cycle and you're trying to keep people from either falling into that or helping them recover from it and get out of it. But all of that. I'm happy that you are doing that. I'm glad you're doing that. You are still a big, swinging, flaccid dick. There was no real reason to bring his mother into that. He only brought up his mother just to explain to you why he was not able to do it. And he was even willing to schedule a date, another date with you at that point. You use it as some sort of gotcha, like, the fuck? I don't know. Organized Chaos, are you watching? Why did you sit there with your hand on your chin for some reason? What are your thoughts? Talk to me. Let me hear from you.
The discussion could go over the errors. VC is usually easier to do this.
And I'm very sorry for everything you went through, but personal trauma doesn't license you to behave like a jackass. You ask for empathy, you have mine. You ask for moral consistency. I've called out Jeb before for defending Nerdrotic on this very point. But I repeat, someone else's wrongs do not license one to abandon their standards. I'm deeply unimpressed with this exchange, especially after I publicly defended your character against slander.
I just don't care about what this guy thinks of me, though. Why would I? See, Jolly, he's earned a bit of me caring his views of me, as have you, SK. But do you guys really go around the internet expecting every single person you randomly encounter to have a fair view of you? And if they don't, you take up an indignant stance?
I do if they've built a platform out of calling out other people for their bad behavior.
That's insanity to me. I don't claim to be the most morally pure man. Never did. I can live my life having been a little bit of a dick to someone who has made it their mission to be a dick to me, it seems.
I hate hypocrisy, Dane. I don't care where I see it.
I'm not going to lie. As unimpressed as I am with Jeb's argumentation regarding Nerdrotic, I'm not impressed by these reasons either.
Okay, thanks for your honesty. Remind me what I did that's so morally repugnant. Did I harm anyone? Did I encourage my audience to go after him?
If Jolly and I's views are valued, believe us when we say that implying Jeb is being dishonest about his care for his mother's illness is unsubstantiated and unfair to Levy, especially in a public sector.
Did I harm anyone?
You might have harmed Jeb personally.
If you think my platform is simply about going after bad behavior, you don't know my morals or the reasons I choose people to criticize.
If that's the case, then what purpose do you serve exactly? What is the point of this fandom initiative shit and all these streams and all these videos about these people, about Nerdrotic and Fandom Menace and Eric July and EFAP and all this shit? What is the purpose of that, of calling out Nerdrotic for having Gavin McGinnis on, or Gavin pulling out his meat on camera? What the fuck is the purpose of you quote tweeting everything that EFAP L's does, or quote tweeting all the people, all these other L accounts? What is the purpose? If it ain't about calling about bad behavior, what purpose do you serve exactly? What is the point of what you do? Please explain it. I would love to hear you explain it.
I see myself as a journalist of sorts. I saw you and Southpaw as sources, and to that end I should have remained more distanced. It was the first time someone from any of these groups I cover wanted to be open, and had the integrity and intellect to do so. In the future, I'll remember I'm not here to make friends. Take care, man. I really do appreciate your input and insight. I just don't feel like defending myself to you.
Explain it to my rapidly retreating backside.
Wow, I feel more justified than ever in calling you a big old flaccid swinging dick. It's kind of ironic that Gavin McGinnis exposing his dick would expose you as a dick. And SK and Southpaw were the ones who was trying to stick up for you and say, show us proof that Dane was acting in bad faith. And I guess Dane is just like, well, fuck it, I'll do it myself. I'll prove to you I'm a scumbag myself. You just admitted that you use SK and Southpaw for content, essentially. Like, I don't have a problem with Southpaw, and I have some issues with SK, but it's like that's not okay. They're thinking they're being heard, and you're just using them for your own benefit, and that's just fucking terrible. And you're about as much of a journalist as Def Noodles is a comedian. You're just not. You're a fucking douchebag on YouTube. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, sit there and suck your vape pen. The sign of a douchebag. I've never seen a single person who vapes not be a douchebag. I'm not saying all vapors are douchebags. I'm saying there's some douchebags I've seen that, and none of the vapors I've seen are not douchebags. That's off the top of my head, between Dane and Kevin Scampoli from the whole effing show. Just two monumental douchebags that as they suck on them little vape pens and just I can't. I'm just like, what the fuck? Is there something in those pens that turn people into douchebags, or is that just a coincidence on my end? I don't know. Also, you say you're not here to make friends, so what does it say about your association with Organized Chaos? Or Charles Peckerwood over there? Or Eduardo guy, or any of the people you've had on your channel before to discuss anti-fandom, or any of the people you've interacted with on Twitter, what did I say about you and Fandom Menace L's, or Ripperverse L's, or EFAP L's, who's been suspiciously quiet about this whole thing? EFAP L's follows 3 of the 5 people involved in this. I don't see how this person could not have known this was going on. I mean, you gave JXE shit for being quiet about EFAP's bullshit, but you're quiet here. I don't know. What did I say about all these people you're associated? You're not here to make friends. You're just using all these people for content. Is that what I'm to understand here? I don't understand. Please help me understand.
An update to the actual fandom situation. Please do not go after SK and Co. A lot are not involved or have seen it. SK has and Jolly Chap. They have addressed it with him, and unfortunately actual fandom hasn't responded well. I do want to apologize to him though for any distress I caused in relation to his personal experience in addiction. I won't post any of the conversations because I believe there's personal topics that shouldn't be out there. However, I do thank them for trying to speak to him and keeping me in the loop. If AF sees this, I think you need time off. You're terminally online, and you are causing issues to people targeted. You are vindicating the bigots in their claims. Be better and do better.
Yeah, I think it's too late for him, Jeb. I think it's too late. Our boy Dane is just a overdosing on copium. He's a big old coke machine. He's a coke machine full of Coca-Cola. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman are hiding behind him right now to avoid a firestorm. I think if this situation has proved anything, is that Dane can't be trusted. It's like, you think you're being heard and you think your voice is getting out there, but in reality it's just, no, this is all content to him. And he's saying, he'll say, that's not true, but like, what the fuck were you saying here then? You just said you're using these people as sources. For what, why? Why even say this? You're saying the quiet part out loud, you fucking asshole. You're saying the quiet, they're just spreading all that shit out in the open. Like, what? What a dick. Wow, we end how we began. This whole thing started with dick, and now we're ending with dick. Like, it's too much dick going on around here. It's fucking crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I am what I am, and I'm going to be the very best of what I am. And for those who don't like me confidentially, I don't give a damn.